A lot of time when you want to talk about self-care, people think that you're selfish. But self-care is not about being selfish. It's about looking after yourself so that you'll be able to look after the people that are around you that you need to look after. So I want to ask you a question today that what will happen when you stop putting gas or petrol in your car? What do you think is going to happen when you start putting petrol or diesel in your car? I'm very sure the answer you will give me is that when I don't put petrol or diesel or electricity in my car, what will happen after some time is that the car will come to a stop because there's nothing for the car to run on. Okay? And today I'm going to liken myself, to a car. Okay. So let me give you another scenario. What will happen if you put a quarter tank of petrol or diesel into your car? Maybe you just fill it quarter way, and maybe you're traveling from here till Cork. I'm talking about a place in Highland, and you put just a quarter of a tank full of petrol or diesel. What will happen is that you will not go very far before the car will stop on the road because Cork to Dublin is about almost 300 kilometer to Dublin. So there's no way a quarter of a tank can get you to Cork. Okay. And that means it will not go far. Okay. And I want to ask you another question is that what happened over time if you neglect to get regular oil or regular maintenance or service of your car? What will happen is that if you didn't put any, you didn't service your car and there's no oil in the car, after sometimes that car will knock because the oil that is supposed to be lubricating the engine so that it can work perfectly is short of oil. Okay. And because you have not find time to look after the car that was serving you very well before, we now, after some times, decide not to work. Or you might start working, function differently. Okay. And more problem might arise from you not taking care of the car. And you find out that you spend more money, you know, repairing the car than what you should have done, which was needful initially. Okay. So you can see those three scenarios that I gave to you. And I want you to liken that car that I'm talking about to yourself, your body. Okay. Your spirit, soul, and body. Okay. You are the car. And the self care that you need is the petrol, the diesel that I'm talking about. Okay. Without the diesel, without the petrol, you cannot function your best. Okay. And you will not be able to make it for when it comes to reaching your goal and fulfilling your responsibility in life. Okay. You find out that most of the time we give a lot of ourselves to people and we forget about ourselves. We forget about looking after ourselves. We forget about taking care of ourselves. What you don't know is that when you don't take care of yourself, it's just a matter of time. You will burn out. Okay? You have to take care of yourself because it is in you taking care of yourself and you being okay is what is going to make you to be able to take care of your loved one which are around you. Okay? The fuller the tank, the farther you can drive your car. Okay? The fuller the tank, like I said, the further you can drive that car. So that's why self-care is very, very important. Okay? Those who struggle to make time for self-care often see the effects of this in their physical, their social, and their emotional health. So if you want your physical, your emotional, and your social life to be intact, to be in good condition, then self-care is very, very important. So I'm just going to talk about, you know, those self-care ideas that I think will be very important to invite on as individuals so that you don't get burned out, so that your car, which is yourself, the car will be able to run perfectly. So the first self-care idea that I have here is that if you don't want your car to pack up, you don't want to pack up, you don't want yourself to pack up, which you must catch up with friends that support you. Individually, we must have friends that complement, that support us, that are always there to help us to do those things that under normal circumstance you might not be able to do by yourself. So you need to catch up with friends that support you. The second thing that I did for self-care is that you should find 5 things to say about yourself. 5 things to say about yourself. You know, every one of us is very unique in their own way. God uniquely made us because we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So there must be 5 things that you can say, nice things that you can say about yourself, which will, boost your ego and boost your moral. That's the second self-care. The third self-care idea that I have here is that you can experiment with a new recipe. If you're somebody that loves cooking, instead of eating the same thing every time, experiment with a new recipe. When you eat something different, it makes you feel, happy, you enjoy it. It's not the same thing that you're eating every time and every time. So experiment with a new recipe. The fourth thing that you can do as a self-care is exercise at least 20 minutes every day to boost your mood. Exercise at least 20 minutes every day to boost your mood. I'm telling you, we cannot emphasize the importance of exercise. Even if it's walking, if it is dancing, if it is uh, um, maybe jumping on a rope, you can do a lot of things, that will help you and it will boost your mood. Number four, 5 things that you can do, okay, to as a self-care is buy yourself some flowers or house plant to take care of. I'm telling you, that really work well. You know, when you have a plant that you love and you're always looking after and you see it blossom every time you see that plant in good condition, it will boost your mood and you'll be so happy that you're looking after after the plant very well. Like I love one plant they call snake plant. Even if you leave it for 2 months without touching it, will not die. you know But anytime you remember and you water it, and you see it growing, from when I remember when I bought that snake plant, it was just a few. Now it's a bunch on the flower pot, and it's even good in the house because they said it releases oxygen in the night. So do something like that by buying some flowers or house plant to take care of. That's a form of self-care too. So I'm going to stop here this week and we'll continue the next time, next month. God bless you. I hope you have gotten something from what I said today. Bye.